is up? How are you guys doing?
Oh, good, man.
Oh,
And you?
goodness, man.
Why are you guys so quiet? Can't hear you guys.
We are ready to rock. Let's rock.
No, really, I
You know, I
can't.
missed the movie Aliens, by the way. That movie was really good. I just want you guys to know, in case no one's seen it, it's been out for 30 plus years, which is basically yesterday to me.
Are you talking about Alien or Aliens?
Aliens, but I did like both of them. But Alien, the
Yeah.
first one was basically a horror movie, and the second one was an action movie. So they're different genres. If they're
The
next to
sec-
each other, if you went into
Have you watched
Blockbuster
the third
when it still
or the fourth
existed,
one, Brad?
you saw them next to each other, they are wrong because they are two different genres of movies.
Have you watched the third or the fourth one, Brad?
I have watched all of them, and they all double fist the cock after that.
All aliens.
No, the third one and the fourth one are cool. They're
We-
very
we got-
different. They're all cool. They all have their
What-
specific gems in them.
Which one,
My
Daniel?
favorite one is the second one, actually.
Which one, Daniel, is the one where they all have to go to the planet and like the guy with the big nose is in it from The Pianist?
That's Predators.
Ah,
That's not even Alien, man. You're in
I
a
like that
different
one.
bro. Come on, man. That's Adrian Brody.
that one's terrible. I love
Pianist.
that one. That one's my favorite because of how bad it is.
My God, I hate you, Alan. I have to stop talking to you.
Oh,
Alien-
thank God. That's all it took? Son of a bitch. I've been trying to figure this out for years. Leave me the fuck
Awesome.
alone, you
They're
dirty
awesome.
Swede.
It's like some of the best movies ever made.
If you're keeping score, man, but we just got our asses kicked.
I
Hey, man, have you ever been mistaken for a man? Oh, have you?
Have you? That's how you start.
I've been-
Who's Cinderella? Apparently, she saw an alien once. Yeah, an illegal alien. Signed up.
I finished
good.
watching Invincible on Amazon. That was really good.
You stole my thunder. That's such a good show.
It's really
Actually,
good. I like it.
Actually, Corey actually told me about it. I can't take the credit for that one. I mean, I usually do take the credit for stuff, but he actually got me hooked up on that. I really like that. That's really good. I've been looking for some different stuff. I just got done watching Electric Dreams on Amazon. It's like a bunch of almost like Black Mirror type sci-fi deals. Like each one's its own standalone show. That was pretty cool. A couple of them are way better than others, of course.
The Nevers,
something-
the Nevers on HBO looks really promising. Episode 1 was
Ooh,
really good.
Yes, watch the first episode.
I liked it.
I think that's going to be super, super cool.
I did like it.
I told Britt to watch that. I think that's going to be a show we're gonna do watch together, couple wise.
Still waiting for a really good 40K movie or series.
It's
That'd be
coming.
cool.
Yeah,
It's
man.
coming. The
They've been
Astartes
talking
guy.
about it for a long time, man.
The Astartes guy got hired, so I'm expecting to
Dude,
see something out of him.
Let's talk. Let's give some props, man. Those little animated shorts they've been putting up are boss.
Yeah, they're cool. They're
They're
good.
super
I
good.
don't like animated stuff, but
I mean, those are cool, man. That's the best way you're gonna get that stuff done. You know what I mean? So I'd really like to see that in the future. In the future.
I want to see Alien 5 in the 40K Millennium.
You're like the alien fan who still wants like Michael Myers Halloween movies. Like, can we get Michael Myers on Mars now, please? Let's just get
He's gonna
alien
have
everywhere.
Ripley.
Actually,
Ripley's gonna be in a
I
fucking
wish
walker.
I wish they did a better job with like the Prometheus movies, like Prometheus.
Yeah,
and
I'm
the
those
so
suck.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for those.
that
and they
the
were so
most
bad.
the most potential in the alien storyline, I think, is before like that whole Prometheus line and how that impacts things. Like that in my opinion is the
That
highest
and Blade
potential.
Runner connect together.
Says the guy who thought he watched an Alien movie when it was a Predator movie. So your
That's what I'm saying.
credibility it's out, man.
so
I,
low.
I don't need credibility. I'm telling you what the most potential is. Like the most potential is right there. That's I think where they can make some really cool stuff. And Brad is gone, and now Brad is
He's in.
gigantic.
He's back.
He's back.
He
He
checked
was
in.
gone. Now he's huge.
I was gone, but now I'm back.
Yeah, and
checked out.
you're like the largest thing on my stream out. So yeah. Oh, you just like
And that's
literally
a
popped.
it's a novelty feeling for Brad. So
Yeah.
let it be.
It's like
I
someone
was
told
saying,
Brad
I'm
he's the
huge.
biggest. What?
Look at Giant Brad. Look at Giant Brad.
Oh, video games, by the way. I highly, highly, highly recommend this video game. It may be the best video game ever made. Or close
Maybe.
to. Close to. It's called It Takes Two. Highly
To make
recommend.
it
Highly
Make everything
recommend.
go right. Are you quoting Rob Bass?
No, it's called, the game's called It Takes Two. It's for PS4, I
Takes
think,
two,
and other systems.
baby.
There you go.
It takes two.
And maybe the wrong kind of beat for that, but that's okay. I highly recommend playing it with your significant other. Even if they don't like video games, if they've never played video games, it's very much like a Mario style game. Highly recommend it. It is amazing, like in every way: execution, graphics, story, gameplay, the physics engine behind the game, all of the different aspects of the game. It's just like, I can't talk it up enough for you to be disappointed in any way. It wouldn't be possible. I can sit here and do a 45-minute episode about how amazing it is, and you would play it and you'd be like, Alan did not talk enough about how amazing It Takes Two is.
It Takes Two. I'm gonna get this, and then
Is it a computer game or is it like a phone app?
No,
or
it's
is
a co-op.
PS5?
It's a co-op game. It's a split screen co-op game. Both people are in the same room type of game.
for PC.
No, it's for PlayStation 4. I think Xbox One, PlayStation 5 probably. I'm not sure. You can look that up on Google. It Takes Two.
Haze Light.
Very, very good game. Very good game.
I know of a really good two-man game actually that I enjoy a lot. It's called 40K.
We should talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We could talk about that one.
What,
Yeah.
it-
I've played
Yeah,
it.
I
I've
heard
played
that-
it once. I've played it once.
I heard that. You know what I've been hearing? The word on the street. I heard Dark Eldar's a pretty decent codex.
I think Dark Eldar is the worst codex creep we've seen since Grey Knight's 5th edition.
I
But
do not think that at all.
but
I
in a
think
more
that
positive
they are
way.
a glass cannon, and you're going to see them be top dogs for about a month and a half, and then AdMech's going to come out, and some other shooting armies are going to come out, and then they're just going to be another army that's good.
So why the hell am I making you a Dark Eldar army then? Why don't I just make you an AdMech army then?
Because AdMech's too boring for me. It's
Why?
just
What if I
Even I
made
don't wanna
you?
win that
What if
guy.
I made you a Counts as army? That's kind of like a Gene Stealer-ish cult type of army. That you have all the models to either play a Dark Eldar list or an AdMech list.
No, I'm too all in on this Witch Cult stadium board and everything.
Okay.
You had me at that, so I'm all in.
This is what
Plus,
happens
the
when a
thing is
salesman
that-
makes a pitch and like then they don't like their pitch anymore. They've already sold it too hard. So like the investor's like, nope, I want what you originally promised. Thank you.
Yeah,
bye."
I was just gonna say you already sold me. You had me at hello. No, but I think that I'm going to be on Dark Elder for a while. Anyways, one, it's got all the speed, it's got tons of punch, but it's also has a lot of different ways to make an army. Like right now, Daniel and I's lists are I think they're both very, very good, and they're very different. I think there's a lot of ways to make an army in Dark Eldar, and that's going to keep my limited interest together for a while.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
Yeah.
Definitely fair. So I mean, what are your thoughts for Motor City GT? Are you coming in second place there with the Dark Eldar like you usually do?
You know, that's hurtful talk. I really don't like the way you're saying that.
I heard
It makes me feel.
I heard there's
bad.
this-
I have to talk to HR.
I heard there's this guy you never beat. His name's Rex Buckingham. He's going to be at that event. I think he's kind of one of those
Weirdly enough, I think I'm rooming with him.
yeah, he's one of those wannabe good players who's
Tier
trying
2
to
player that tries too hard.
tier 3
real
player.
tryhard.
Let's be real. Tier 3 try hard.
Tier
At
3
this point.
tryhard.
At this point. So you watch
Comes
out
in
for
with
that guy though.
2,500-point list.
Yeah, watch out for that guy.
Who knows?
Do you reminisce about the days when you were good at the game, Alan?
How could I reminisce about something that never happened? I mean, that's just weird. That's strange. You mean do I fantasize about the days when I was good at the game? Yes, I do. Damn it.
See, I get jelly because I haven't won an ITC title, so I pee on Nalen's check every time I go into his bathroom.
Yeah. All the awards behind me, nothing. All stolen. Just took them out of a car.
Exactly. I do like that. I agree on what Dave said on this. He likes the fact that every army is in general staying relevant, even after the Codex creep. You know, because they used to basically make everything redundant when Codex creep came out, but people are still winning. Like the top 10, like in the last weekend, looking through BCP and stuff, and we had 3 bigger tournaments, and in the top 10 were 7 different factions.
Yeah, I think the
playing.
problem though is that most of the armies, I would argue, I like the positive spin. I love when people say like, oh, you know, all the factions are there. We still have really good representation across the board. You know, that's nice. I just dropped my model. You know, that's nice and stuff, but I would argue that the vast majority of armies have less builds as codex creep happens. Dark Eldar will make less builds happen of other codexes.
You know,
So-
I actually think that there'll be more. To tell you the truth, I think that the opposite was for Dark Eldar or Dark Angels and Death Guard, because I think that Dark Angels basically kind of found their build fairly early. You know, I mean, like within a few hundred points, like all of the lists are the same, and you played towards that, and people basically were tooling their list towards that. I think that Dark Eldar gives you a completely different problem to solve. So I think it'll make a lot of lists solve that problem different, because against Dark Eldar, the answer is usually just more volume, because there's still just a bunch of T3 dudes riding around in transports. You know what I mean? So you want to kick them out. And
Yeah,
you want to.
But what you were taking before, my point is this: if you're not playing Dark Eldar, you're not playing a new codex. What you were taking before Dark Eldar existed will most likely not suffice now, and you'll have to go a different route. And some things will just get eliminated from that previous version of your army if you want to stay competitive against everything. And then
Isn't
therefore,
that always though? I feel like that's always. You should always be adapting and changing. Not chasing the
I
meta,
kind
but,
of
you know,
I kind of
changing
agree.
to
I kind of agree that it's always, but the fact that like we have all these factions in the top is kind of a misnomer, because really like the best chaos army right now is really like the unkillable chicken, like Magnus, big things really are it's what's winning events, right? It's all I agree that it's always like that. I just think that we can't look at the results. You can't look at data and like sell your own picture of the story, right? Like I'm going to look at data, oh, all these factions are here. Oh, the game is great. There's so much variety. When in reality it's like the vast majority of factions have one clear build. Five overall armies have a few extra builds than the main one, and then like 3 armies have like infinity builds.
I'll give you sure on some of that, but it's still, there's a bunch of factions that are still relevant. We haven't had that in a long time, man. You had a couple armies that were basically all winning every tournament, and that was it. There's a lot of people that are placing and doing well with a lot of different factions right now.
I mean, we're not in a place where we were in 8th with Space Marines and Ironhats.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. When like 30-something% of every tournament minimum, it was not just Marines, but was that specific Marine.
And I don't think we'll ever get back there with the current missions. The way the current missions are kind of put, I don't think we'll get back to the like everyone, like, you know, 9 out of 14 people in the last round are playing Grey Knights. Like what the hell's going on?
For sure.
And then Gary's comment is like, you know, it's the player most of the time, not necessarily the list. I would kind of disagree with that more in 9th than at any other time in the game. I think if you're playing Tyranids, you're playing Genestealer Cult, you're playing Chaos Space Marines without trying to run the big guys, you're playing and Death Guard if you're trying to avoid them. If you're playing a lot of these army lists that are clearly like Tau, like you're just immediately like in a disadvantage against even a beginning player playing Space Marines or Death Watch, or, you know, they don't even have to know your army really. They just have to know their army decently, like medium level skill.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of the skill in it right now, especially if you have heavier terrain board, like basically adequate terrain boards, because you can't just line up and blow stuff away, and you have to go achieve missions now. It's not like when
but here's okay, so here's my rebuttal then. Have you guys in the past before 9th felt that a medium tier player could beat a top tier player if as easy as it could happen now given army lists?
Yeah, if they played Ironhats.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Well, yeah, if they played Ironhats.
Saw a lot of people just doing it with Ironhats.
And went first, yeah. But I see that more. I see that more though, Daniel. I see that more now.
7th edition Thunderstar was an auto, like it was laughably easy.
Yeah, I just think
some casted 2 psychics and moved to the middle of the board and just went burp.
Yeah, I just think some armies are just inherently better, and they give you a massive boost at the table if given what people are playing. So
yeah.
And the same names finishing in the top 5, that's irrelevant. So whenever you do anything with statistics or data, you take out outliers on both sides. So you have to take out the top outliers and you have to take out the bottom outliers, right? They can't play a part of your analysis. So given the fact that the top 5 people are still winning things, that's fine. That's you know, if you really want to solve that problem, you know, the only way you can do it is by making an Iron Man event where everyone plays the exact same army. then you can figure out like, you know,
Yeah, but it's
player
different
skill.
play styles and stuff, though.
Correct. Yeah.
Different people have different styles.
Yeah.
And the GOAT definitely does matter, Gary. 100%.
No, I think also it's a bit difference on what type of missions you play. So if you play win, draw, loss, or if you play 20-0, I think you're gonna see very big variations in addressing the sort of the best type of player that so a bad player wins over a good player. Because then I think a lot of good players playing second tier or third tier armies can still get, you know, fairly close to a draw. But in a win draw
Yeah.
loss system, fairly close to a draw is a loss, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I do better in a win loss.
they're out. They're out. But in a win draw loss in a 20-0 system, they might only get 10 points in that round, but they can still win the tournament. So I think it depends on in what system you're playing.
Weirdly enough, it could be. I do like battle points, but I do better in win loss draw because of the fact that I play for the win first and points afterwards. Yeah. Alan, for instance, is very big on smashing his wins out, so he does better. He typically does better in a battle point system than I do, just because he goes more all in, more for the big differentials, and I play more of a cagey type game.
Yeah, Snigs' differential tournament broke my mind because I was like, I got 100 and I only got 34. I was like, I just didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, I got 100 points in this game, like, and I was broken. And then I played Brad, and then I lost, and then I was even more broken. I was like, what? I don't know what to do with my hands. What do I do with my hands? So it was a good learning experience. But
did you up Daniel and I output, if you could please, sir? Apparently, Alan definitely goes big or goes bust. He is all in.
Oh yeah, Gary's right too. The Iron Hands and the 7 Flyrants was a joke. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Actually, now that I think back on it, I take back kind of a little bit of what I said. I think 8th was worse. So I think we're actually going in a better direction. I agree with that.
7 was horrible with Space Wolf Stars. It was like the worst game. It wasn't.
Well, that wasn't even really 40K at that point. Like that totally changed.
7 was literally the worst edition of all time.
Comparing the editions to the end though is tough, right? Like let's see how 9th ends, because 8th ended with a whole bunch of random stuff. Go ahead, Brad.
8th was still playable. 8th was still very competitive. We had something that was dominating, but we still had competition. 7th was just silly. I don't even want to talk about that. That was the black days, the dark days.
I started looking at other games.
Yeah, which is crazy for you, Daniel, because you only play 40K.
I've never played any other game than 40K since I was 12 years old, and I was like, I'm gonna start looking at War Machine.
It was really bad at that.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. Like, so when I say like looking at the data and saying that, you know, we have the most winners right now, I would take back what I said earlier, and yeah, looking back at it, like Iron Hands was really like a problem. What happened at LVO was terrible. Like that kind of sucked for the game. There was a lot of circumstances that were not good back then. So yeah, that makes sense. I do agree with that for sure. But I still do feel though that there are like 3 to 5 codexes that are like leaps and bounds better than all the other codexes. And if like Games Workshop were just to release every book in the same month, like here is every book right now, done. Here's your 9th, right? Like 9th comes out in July, and then in August, every codex is brand new. I don't know why that doesn't happen. I think it's a sales strategy to like make revenue go out for a longer period of time, which is fine. I understand it's the company. But if that were to happen, man, that would be so much cooler. You know,
I totally agree. And I think the biggest problem now is that the new codexes have so many units that are viable.
Yeah.
And that makes the old codexes very, very boring because it's like...
Well, it's also points. It's also points.
1 or the 2 work lists. And I probably don't even have a single work list, but let's say you have 1 and you have like 1 Eldar list, you have 1 blah, 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 which makes the old codexes really boring.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. That's a huge difference, of course. And I
actually think
I think this is a new thing with the codexes because I haven't seen this much viable units in old codexes before.
I actually think that Dark. I mean,
I think the old Dark Eldar.
I think it's going to circ out. No, but I think that Dark Elder right now, if they continue with this, I don't think it's an oppressive codex. I think it's a codex where there's a ton of options, which they should have, and I feel that that's basically gives you the ability to make tons of different armies. I think that people are going to adapt to Dark Eldar, and I think new codexes hopefully will continue in this vein, though, where you have lots of different builds because you have lots of good units.
Yeah.
I mean,
Space Marine has it for sure. Like everything is good and adaptable with different supplements. I think overall, Necron, there's no really bad choice in Necrons. Overall, everything is okay. And Death Guard, they have so few units, so it's hard to say anything about it. But I'm sure you can play with any unit in that book as well. So I think they're on a healthy path.
I thought the Death Guard had a couple varieties. They were similar though, but I think that Dark Eldar, Drukhari, were the first book in a while where you could make lots of lists that were also super varied in the way that they looked. You know, so the other ones had of the same type of theme to them. You know, if you made a Dark Angels, a Death Guard list, or whatever, it might be different, but it's still in that same vein. While these Dark Eldar lists can be just wackily different from each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. You could be all cults, all coven. You know, whack combinations of everything. It's just I enjoy the codex a lot. I'm obviously playing it right now, so but that's one of the things that I do like about it. I mean, it's really, really good. I think it's strong. I only play things that are strong. We all know that. I'm leading the bandwagon for one. So, but I think that it's one of those armies where I think you're going to see lots of different variations of builds, and I hope that we keep having that.
But I also like what the Games W are doing with the Metallica stuff now from the Book of Rust, allowing AdMech to join with Grey Knights in a more tight way. I think that's a cool development as well. I mean, since I like variety of lists a lot, and not.
Well, they also have put in together with the Knights, you know. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said. It's hard though because you have to watch out. I think they're doing a decent job. That's why they're making so many like super specific keywords. You know, like what they did with Bubonic Astartes and stuff like that. Because making everything work together, you do have a lot of issues with just combinations, you know what I mean? Where you just get crazy.
Super hard to control and balance.
Right. And the thing is once we get more new books, we'll have less of that going on too. Because as you know, they're making a lot of common themes of people that are not re-rolling their own ones and stuff like that, but giving buffs out. And then you have people doing the old stuff. So as soon as everybody actually gets there, that's why I'm really excited for when we get that sweet spot when basically most everybody has a codex out and everybody has their tools and we have some extra stuff, and then we get that year or so when it's just supplements that come out and everybody's got their mojo, and hopefully the lists are just everywhere, you know what I mean, and we see lots of variety and lots of different things doing really well. It's a better game.
Alan's idea is the best idea, but we all know Games W already know this. The only reason they don't do it is to sell more models.
Sell more models. I mean, in the end, they're still just a for-profit company.
Yeah, so. And I totally respect that. I'm a private contractor myself. It's the company's idea is to make money foremost and make a good game secondly. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could have gone. We've talked about this, you know, for a bunch of times as far as what order they possibly could have done the codexes and whatnot, as opposed to a million Imperium supplements in a row. But I mean, in the end, the game's pretty healthy right now, and I do like the fact that there's a lot of factions everywhere. Even if the way Alan was saying it, there might not be as many viable options for each faction, but at least the factions are doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just have more stuff. Because I would rather my goal is to play, you know, 5 and 9 game tournaments and play 5 or 9 different lists. Hopefully, you know what I mean, every single time, and just be having a really exciting time and have it so that people can't even tech against stuff. You just have to bring at all comers and make your skill level, your generalship, you know what I mean, really count.
Something that really annoys me is that they're fixing all non-broken stuff. That annoys me a bit. So, for example, Tyranids, Astra, maybe. I'm not sure about Astra, but let's say Astra, Tau. There's a few codexes out there that are more or less
What are we talking
bad or unplayable. I wish they took those and fixed them before they gave Sisters, AdMech, and Space Marines new codexes that are great.
More supplements and more everything. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are talking about the codexes
100%
that suck.
still is. I had to make a Sisters list right away, and I decided to work on the list that him and I talked about beforehand. So, 00, we used the tournament list that we're on the team together with. Nids just did win a GT just a few weeks ago.
Probably in Austria.
Terrible.
Right?
No, they won here.
That was one in here.
John Lennon won a tournament here.
Yeah,
a 3-rounder.
Yeah, with the macaron.
Yeah, and didn't you yourself shit all over that army list and say like you don't know how anyone like lost to it really? So it's like it's not a really good like metric of like whether or not it's good just because it wins a GT. I won plenty of GTs. I suck. So, I'm just telling you straight out, like who wins and where they win and all that kind of stuff is meh.
About stuff. Alan's either like, I'm either king of the world or I'm the worst player in the world. They got all or nothing with Alan.
It's one or the other, baby. If you catch me right after Adepticon, I'm king.
Up and either he hits the zone or he misses the zone. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly. Zone is here. So either overshooting it or hitting it. But yeah, no, I mean, I can't. I feel like I spoke with I feel like I spoke with Gary on that army. I don't know. Gary, you should call into the podcast, bro. You got a lot of opinions. I like them. You can challenge us. Call me on Messenger. He's like, nah, I'm busy at work, man. Screw you. Oh, he said it's a gimmick list. Well, typically gimmick lists don't win 5-round GTs, but it kind of happened. So.
Well, people don't know what it is, of course, also. You know what I mean? The Demercan basically goes, it's a monster, it's a giant monster that can go through walls.
It's a Harlequin monster.
It just basically ignores shit.
You're a giant monster that goes through walls. How do you like that? How do you like how I spun that around on you?
I like it.
You hate it. Don't lie.
No,
I were you guys talking about army lists that are not like top tier? Is that what you guys were talking about when I left?
We ended with that.
I just commented on the fact because Brad said we're in a good place, yada yada. What I commented on was that something that annoys me is that they don't take power creep or whatever you want to call it into account when they create new codexes. So
yeah.
Sisters, AdMech, Space Marines, they didn't need new codexes. I mean,
correct.
They're all good.
Correct.
And the Space Marines got the first one, Sisters is coming up, and AdMech is just around the corner, you know?
Yeah.
And they are already in a really, really good place. While Tau, maybe Astra, I don't know, you know, there's some other codexes that really needs help because they're basically unplayable right now.
Yeah.
And I think they should do a different prioritization of their release schedule based on playability.
I don't know how they do that, by the way. I don't know what their plan is, to tell you the truth. Who's it? Like, you know what I mean?
It's probably all off the author and development teams like quotas, right? They probably ask them. They probably have a team. They're like, hey, you're the guy writing the Dark Eldar Codex. When do you think you'll have it ready by? And he'll be like, well, I think I'll have it ready by this day. And they'll be like, well, let's talk to sculpting. When will we have the new models ready by? And they'll be like, well, we'll have them by this day.
There's a lot of things that go into that because they have to come out with new sculpts, obviously, because they want to sell new models for the new lines. I mean, I get it, but I'm actually just curious. That's not even putting it down. I don't actually know the answer to that.
Yeah, I would assume it's very close to what how I just kind of laid it out. I wouldn't be surprised if they have quotas and they just create a calendar that way.
What do you guys think about instead of releasing codex specific secondaries in every book, they release a book
of
secondaries?
Yeah.
For all the codexes.
Duh.
Well, we were supposed to get there. We were supposed to remember we're still playing the 2020 GT mission packet.
Duh.
I would like to see the 2021 mission
I would
packet.
expect it to be here in June, right? June or July,
I
something
hope
like that.
so. I would just,
Yeah.
I mean, if we're changing the secondaries all the time, and a couple of these secondaries are obviously, they know that they have to be updated. Like things like, the Kill the Warlord or whatever the hell it's
Not
called
if I
now.
can change it
Strike
before
Out
the
Back.
game starts. Not if I can change it before the game starts. If I can pay 1 CP to change my secondary, then that Warlord one all of a sudden becomes a lot cooler. It's like, I didn't take your Warlord, and then they put Magnus on the board, and you're like, I think I'm going to change this one. I'm going first.
If you do a lot of certain things, yes, but that thing
1
hasn't
CP.
changed. Has anybody even taken that?
Not a good. It's not a good secondary anyway. You put Magnus on behind a 9-inch wall and you can't shoot him, and it sucks.
I mean, seriously, like I can't. Give me another Pierce the Veil, maybe. But I think the Pierce the Veil might have actually been taken more than Slay the Warlord, or Cut Off the Head, or whatever the hell it's called now.
Yeah, they have all the they have all the data on that, yeah, from BCP, because I think they tell you which ones did you pick. So
right, it's just I can't even. I've never taken either one of those in a tournament ever.
Hell yeah, I'm always trying to sell my changes to the game somehow, but they're never gonna happen.
Hawking his snake oil.
I'm hawking my snake oil, bro. This will give you male fertility.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like just seeing Daniel's background.
Daniel's snake,
Black Mamba.
Yeah, and then he comes out of its mouth. He's just like, I'm here now. Hey, see, look, he just appeared. Kind of crazy.
Snake man.
I kind of like that.
I don't know, like what? Here's like what secondaries do we need the most work?
I just want to know, is that glass of just pure vodka?
I hope so.
It's pure water.
So is that Swedish for vodka?
It's just like pure vodka glass.
Here, I got a question for both of you. Ready? I got a question for everybody.
Let me hear it.
What secondaries are hot garbage and have to be fixed? Like just the ones that you never ever take, and they're basically wasting ink in the page.
Assassinate and 2 of the psychic ones, right? Is it psychic?
Assassinate I've taken before. Assassinate can actually screw.
No, not assassinate.
Mission ones.
Cut the head off. Kill the warlord.
Oh, kill the warlord. Yeah.
And then 2 of the psychic ones. Mental interrogation is okay, but the other 2 ones sucks.
Pierce
right?
the Veil and
psychic veil, because you need to do it with the same unit, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I've seen it happen before with the big guy list, because people just take the chicken and put it in the middle and just do it at +2.
I feel like secondaries in general need to be completely revised, like from start to end. Like I don't think anything in the game should be non-interactive. So I think if you're going to decide to do something in the game to earn mission points, your opponent should be allowed the right to stop you from doing that in a way that makes sense. And if that puts your opponent in a risk, in a jeopardized position, because they, had to overreach or outstretch or address a flank that they necessarily didn't want to, or, make reserves come in a particular position to impact the game.
Choose to not stand on a primary.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's
your secondary.
100%. Yeah. So I think the entire approach on secondaries lacks what the game, I think, should feel like, which is a game. And the fact that you could just put a guy in 4 quarters and say, oop, got it, or a scrambler, oh, these guys are just going to sit here and, jerk off in the corner, I got 10. Like the whole premise around that is flawed. And I think it's only created to ensure that players just score a lot of points so they feel better about their game. I really don't think.
Right. I like certain ones though. Like I like Engage a lot because it basically forces you to interact with your opponent to score it.
Okay, first off, stop tapping your desk.
I mean, this is not the truth though. You can have servitors.
Yeah. People just take bullshit in their army to do secondaries. No, it's dumb.
Do something. You know what I mean? So, I'm just saying that
it's better than old ITC. Hold more, kill more for sure, or just kill.
Oh yeah.
I don't really like how. I'm not a huge fan of scramblers as far as how it's done, but I do like Engage because Engage is done every single turn. You know what I mean? So you can't just have 1 or 2 dumpster units to score it. So you have to do things throughout the game. I kind of like domination. I
Yeah, you
love
just
raise
put.
the banners.
But none of them are interactive, Brad. None of them. I just have a unit that comes in from reserves behind your deployment zone. They're doing scramblers this turn in that deployment zone. For
No,
this unit in mine,
Scramblers is not interaction, but like engage is still making you come inside different table quarters.
yeah, but
can't
you
just sit.
also just take units to do it. Like I just take 3 death copters in my list and 3 squads of commandos, and I'm good. I have engaged for 3-4 turns probably on a realistic basis because I'm gonna hide them in ruins or hide them in corners, make them in places that like you don't even want to try to kill them if you really had to. Like it's not like a fun way to play. Like fighting over the objectives is fun,
I
but like
I agree with you, Alan. In a sense, in another sense, that it's also interesting that you can plan out your point saturation in sort of the army construct
yeah,
phase.
it's a secondary
But
game.
it's also what I think is going to happen, and I think this is why Sean Naden did so well in his tournament, is because you build in anti-secondary capabilities into your army. So you have like 2-3 man units of birds. Just everyone knows they're crap, but they can block off reserves into your backfield, so you can't take scramble against me. And you have some other guys that fill out, so you can't do quarter very well against me and stuff like that. So I think I agree with you in a sense because I like the idea of more interaction or that I can stop you from doing your stuff easier. But I think we're sort of still in a weird position where we haven't played enough. So I think the next step will be to actually I build for my secondaries, but I also build to stop, engage,
Until
scramble,
there's a reason to stop it.
domination,
Yeah,
and something else.
until there's a reason to stop it, you're not going to see that shift happen as
Yeah, but
much. So
this goes back to how we play, right?
differential,
So you play win, roll, loss.
Yeah.
We don't. So for me, it's really important to get 50 more points than my opponent.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's easier to get those points by stopping primary. That's a lot easier than filling up the entire board to stop quarters.
Yep.
So I'm going for stopping primary.
Yeah,
but,
I do focus on primary mostly because it's the thing that I can concentrate on the most without screwing over my own battle plan.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't have to fuck myself by trying to stop some random shit. I can. So yeah, there's literal changes that have to be made.
If I stop you from, if I win 35 points on primary, then I only need to win 15 points on secondary, and I could probably stop that, because typically there's a secondary that is dependent on my army, It's like assassinate or kill my vehicles and stuff, and then I can get some of those points while I get more on other points. Or people tend to choose scramblers because there's easy 10 points, and then there I can get 5 more points by playing my missions better and stuff like that. So,
and you can block out the scramblers, especially depending on the.
Very hard.
It's not really that hard, man. Especially if depending on your deployment. You know what I mean? Obviously, like the scouring, it's super easy. Board quarters, it's actually fairly easy too because they have to do it in your deployment zone. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what you're playing and what you're looking at. So there's options for stuff. But I agree 100% with what you originally said. The secondaries do need a rework. Period. You know what I mean? To basically make us do more things, to make us be more interactive. I think that the smaller board, which I was originally against, I actually am leaning towards liking. Just because it forces people to have to play into each other more.
I think that debate is gone. Objectives. Is anybody fighting for the old board? Nobody.
Yeah, but I think that I like a lot of the board. I like the missions that have more board centric objectives. You know what I mean? Because it makes people do shit. So those are the missions I tend to lean towards that I like. A lot of those other ones are just easier. Things like Overrun are just super easy. When you have 3 objectives in each person's zone, you can do nothing and still score a bunch of points.
I wish they were harder to get. It should be a lot harder to get the points as well, because now it's like, yeah, domination is easy. I have blah blah blah, so I get 15 on that one. I design my list. So unless I'll choose while we stand, we fight, and the only reason I lose that is it's like a win more condition for my opponent. It's not a oh, I managed, so I won. It's like, yeah, you wiped me, so you got those 15 points as well. So it should be like, I don't know. It should. I agree. There should be a difference in there somewhere. I don't have a smart solution for it, but it's. I agree. A redesign, more interactive, more ways to stop your opponent, easier ways to stop your opponent.
Just even doesn't have to be
those scores
easy.
back.
It's just engaging. I think the only thing they're missing is just something that it's more engaging. I think that's the big thing. I do
agree, but
like
it's-
actions. I think actions are great. Like having a unit, you know,
And it also
not
forces you to do things. So I mean, and it also
What-
makes
what-
it so
what-
it's like a hidden
Go ahead.
tax.
What about this? The points you don't get, your opponent gets.
it's
No,
weird in a way.
because it's still not interaction. I literally just want
Yeah,
interaction.
but that way it could be super valuable for me to do some cagey stuff to stop you from doing engage, because if I do the strange movements, I get 2 extra points, or I don't know, just something that you share all the points, and that way you interact. Maybe you interact by not interacting, of course, but you at least play on the same amount of points.
I do like the idea of differential just because it makes people
It's not a bad idea.
play more interactive because of the fact that you have to stop your opponent from doing stuff. Because right now, if I'm playing Ellen and he's got a 75 and I've got a 90, I just don't care. I still won, and it makes no difference. I
If
have
he
no,
has an 89 and you have a 90, you don't
yeah,
care.
it does. It still doesn't
You
make
still
any. Yeah,
won.
exactly. Yeah, because and it only counts for my points for the total, not my opponent's.
Fat Dingo goes, playing my Dark Angels, I don't even need an opponent.
No,
He
for
just walks up, takes center, goes engage, takes the middle, does something else. He's just
You're
like,
hey, what are you gonna do?
whatever.
Oh, Dark Angel secondary domination.
Are you even
Boo.
here? I stand on these objectives. I score
I
these
just
seconds.
sit.
No, I just don't
I
like
just
that. Like
stand.
I get these points at the end of my turn. I think it's not that difficult. I mean, I think they're really close. Like the game is really close. I just think it just needs a little bit more interaction. That's all. That's all I really think.
Also, Kurt, I think that Kurt asked a question I think Daniel kind of answered before. He's like, why hasn't ITC or a congregation of TOs recreated their own second?
Because nobody has
recreated
the
their
no. I would say
own we haven't had enough games. We literally just haven't had enough games.
I would also say that whoever
why we
does
don't
create it
our own secondaries.
is going to get torn up.
Was that the question?
Like,
Yeah.
why haven't
Yes.
you know yeah
Yes.
basically TOs or ITC created secondaries, and I think it's literally
I
because
think it's gonna happen. If Games W don't do it, I think it's gonna happen.
100%. But
We were
it's
talking
I think-
about
we
it
don't have
when
enough
I
we
think
were
Rex-
in Gothenburg now.
I think Rex Buckingham and Steven Glansberg are already working with Neil in
Already
secret
working.
secret dark rooms to figure this out,
a dark
crack this
trio.
nut. So
a dark trio.
no, I don't know. And to be honest, I always feel like my opinion's probably on the outside. So it's I think a lot of people just still love it, still love Ninth, and they like the change and they think it's a fun game still. I think I've gotten to the part where I find it to be kind of boring, but
See, I still
just
really
me.
like it. I just think that there is for sure the ability for it to be better.
Yeah.
Like 1,000%. But I think that we don't have to basically dumpster a lot of stuff. We do need to write. Basically, we played a basically a weird year basically of the secondaries, but we didn't get enough games in, so it's really odd because I don't think they have all the data they need. But we do need new secondaries. Some of the secondaries are just bad. Even if
Yeah.
you just want to work on the problem secondaries and make them better, it at least would give you more options to do more things. At
Yeah.
the least, at the bare minimum, you have to take the dumpster fire secondaries and do something else with them.
no, I
And
think that's a
there's
good point.
3 or 4 of them that needs to be changed.
I think on Friday's podcast we should do 2 things. One, continue this conversation, and maybe we'll have some independently provided Steven Glansberg, Rex Buckingham, like notes to talk through. And then review lists. If anyone has an army list that you're considering bringing to Motor City GT or any tournament, we can review it. Mainly, that just means
Throw it in the
me.
chat.
Yeah, that just means me making fun of it for the most part.
Ooh, I do have a Friday challenge for us, gentlemen.
Oh yeah, let's go. I love challenges. Let's do it.
Ready? Each of us,
The 13.
and do not share it. Each of us has to bring one new secondary.
One new
Right.
secondary.
One secondary.
I already have 6.
No, you have to say
I-
one. Take your best one.
Okay, I'll bring my best
I
secondary.
have a challenge to myself. I'm gonna be sober on Friday.
Yeah, you're gonna fail. Hey, if you need encouragement, go on Fit40K. I heard that you got really encouraged by some posts on there recently, so you could you could get some encouragement there for I don't know, manslaughter or something. I'm not sure, but I actually have a coding genetics artificial intelligence meeting at 1:00, so I will catch you guys later, and we will talk. Cool.
Can do.
I'll bring that secondary.
Ready.